Hello, my crafty friends. I sure hope you're having a fabulous day. My name is Robyn M with Sir Chauncey Rocco Creative Designs. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a fun project to share with you. I've created this beautiful floral frame diorama card using the Crafter's Companion pastel plaid paper. Hopefully you had an opportunity to watch my video that I did a few days ago where I did an in-depth review of both the blue and blush pastel plaid papers. In today's video, I'm going to review this card and then I'm going to show you how to make it step by step. So let's get started. This is my card. I love the way it turned out and it's so easy to make. As you can see, I've used this beautiful pink pastel paper. On the front, I've embellished the top and the bottoms using this beautiful textured corner dies. This is an Anna Griffin die, and I'll show you that in a moment. Front and center, we've got this beautiful floral frame. To make the front of the card, I use these beautiful Crafter's Companion Gemini floral frame dies. This is a beautiful rose, and it has an aperture in the center. This is called You Make Me Smile. I purchased these probably about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago from HSN. They still have a few of them available on clearance. You could also check Crafter's Companion, eBay, or wherever Crafter's Companion products are sold. To color the roses, I use a very light pastel pink. I used my Spectrum Noir aqua markers, and there are 3 different colors. It may be difficult to see on camera, but there are 3 different colors, and I love the way this turned out. It's very, very light and very feminine. On the center of the card, let me give you a closer look. I have a sentiment that says, You Make Me Smile. This is one of 2 sentiments that come in the stamp and die set, and I have that embellished with 2 beautiful pink rhinestone hearts. On the back, I have further embellished the sides with more of this beautiful paper. I've created a signature area where you can leave a special message, and then I just used some of my Crafter's Companion dies. It says Special Friend and With Love to embellish the back. Now that you've had a quick look at this card, let's review the materials that you will need to make it. To make this card, you'll need a paper trimmer, a scoreboard. We're using the blue pastel plaid paper, and you'll need a coordinating solid piece of cardstock. We're also going to be using this floral frame set. This is You Mean So Much to Me, and has these beautiful poppies. You're going to need a set of oval nesting dies. I'm also using these Anna Griffin cut and emboss folders. If you don't have them, you can use whatever you have in your stash or don't use them at all. I'm using my colored pencils, and I'm also using adhesive. I'm using my art glitter glue as well as my Collal all-purpose glue. So now that we've reviewed all of the materials, let's start making this card. To make the card base, you're going to need 2 pieces of 110-pound cardstock that measures 8 1/4 by 7 inches. On the 8 1/4 side, you're going to score at 1 1/4 and 2 inches. You're going to flip the paper and score at 1 1/4 and 2 inches. So you'll have those 2 score marks on either side of the paper, and you want to make sure that you do that on the second piece of cardstock as well. Next, you want to stamp and die cut your image, and you want to make sure that it is directly in the center of the score line. So remember, you have a score line at 1 1/4 and 2. You want to make sure it's directly centered in between the score marks. Now for this project, I am using the floral frame set, You Mean So Much to Me, and it has these beautiful poppies. However, if you do not have this set, you can use any nesting dies that you have. As you can see, this has an oval die shape. You can use whatever will fit in the center of this card. To color in my image, I used my Spectrum Noir color blend pencils. I also used my Spectrum Noir glitter ink. Let me show you that. This is the Spectrum Noir glitter pen, so this has clear liquid in it. They also have several other colors of glitter ink. And you can also get the small bottle that comes just like this. This definitely gives you much more liquid than this pen. However, once you finish all of the ink, you can use this as a really fun brush nib for painting. To cut out this image, let me show you the dies that I used. In the stamp and die set, you receive the stamps as well as 2 sentiments, and you also receive the center die here, which will cut out the aperture. All you have to do is place the die in the center and then run that directly through your die cutting machine. Next, we want to fold and burnish the score lines. For this first piece of cardstock, we're going to fold up on the 1 1/4 inch side, and we're going to fold back on the 2 inch side, and you want to make sure that you give that a nice burnish. Okay, so once again, on the first score line, you're folding up, so you have a valley, and then you're folding backwards or down for the 2 inch mark. So let's do that on the opposite side. So on this larger score line here, the 1 1/4, I'm going to make a valley, and then at the 2 inch mark, we're going to make a mountain fold, just like so. And when you finish, you should have a piece that looks just like this. So let's set that aside. Now, we're going to do the same thing for the second piece, but we want to do it in the opposite direction. So this time we're going to fold down on the 1 1/4 inch side, and we're going to fold up at the 2 inch score mark. Okay, see how that looks? Again, actually, while we're at the 2 inch mark, I'll just fold that in and then back. So you should have a piece that looks like that. Make sure you fold and burnish your score lines really well. Now grab your top piece, and when you lay it on top here, you'll notice you've got your diorama. Okay, these 2 pieces will be glued together just like so. So let's start working on the mats and layers. For the mats and layers on the side of the card, you will need 4 pieces, 2 for the front and 2 for the back. The solid piece will measure 1 by 6 3/4, and the decorative plaid measures 3/4 of an inch by 6 1/2, and that will go just like so. For the center and the back of the card, you'll need 2 pieces of cardstock that measures, in the solid, 4 by 6 3/4. The decorative panel will measure 3 3/4 by 6 1/2. And then on the back, we're going to add 1 additional piece for the signature, and that's going to measure 3 1/4 by 5 3/4. So when you assemble this, you're going to have your decorative piece just like so, and then on your back piece you're going to have this piece along with the 2 side panels. Next, we're going to need our sentiment. In this case, I'm using a stamp that came in the floral frame set. It says, "You're in my thoughts." I stamped and die cut this on 110-pound cardstock, and then I took the next size up die to create this green border. Now, you'll notice when I turn to the side, I have 2 sets of foam tape on the front sentiment, and then another 2 layers of foam tape on the back. I want this to stand up. It's not going to come completely through the aperture, but it will give it some dimension. So I'm just going to lift this top up and place this here Next, we're going to glue on our decorative panels. We're going to be working on the back panel first. So go ahead and glue on your side panels and then glue the center area. Now that we have our decorative panels glued onto the back of the card, let's turn this over. And you want to grab your next piece that's going to go right in the center. So go ahead and glue that down now. Now that we have the decorative layers glued on, let's put this aside. We want to work on our top layer. So first, let's glue on these side panels here. Next, we're going to embellish this center panel, and I've used my Anna Griffin cut and emboss dies to cut out these really fun corner pieces. Now what I did was I cut one piece out in the decorative paper and then one piece out in the green paper, and then I fussy cut along the decorative paper so that it gave this a nice border. Then I have these strips of paper. So I have two pieces that measure 1/4 inch by 5 1/4 inch. And these are going to go on the side. Now I'm just using scrap paper. That's why it's not going all the way to the bottom. And also the corners are going to be covered using these little corner pieces. And then I have two pieces that measure 1/4 inch by 4. And these are going to be glued down to the bottom, just like so. I'll put this one here on the top. And then we can put our corner pieces just like so. So we're creating a frame for our floral frame. So I'll put a corner piece here and two corner pieces here. Now that you see how this is going to be laid out, you can go ahead and glue it. Now we have our decorative pieces attached to the front panel. I did pop these up on foam tape, so there's a little dimension there. Let's grab the bottom of the card, and these two pieces are going to be glued on like this. We're going to take the right side upper panel and glue it to the bottom panel, just like so. Okay, only do one side for now. All right, glue those together and make sure you give it a nice burnish. So your piece should be attached just like so. And you'll notice it's perfectly even on the back as it is the front. Now you have the right side attached. You can open the top and grab your sentiment, and you want to center it in the middle of the card. Close the top. Don't glue the left side down yet, but make sure the side panels are completely aligned. I like the way that looks, so I'm going to glue that down and finish embellishing the rest of the card, and then I'll be back with the final reveal. This is my finished card, and I really love the way this turned out. I had so much fun working on this. I really love the contrast of the lime green and the blue pastel plaid paper. On the top and the bottom, I've embellished these corners using a pearl rhinestone button. And then I lined the perimeter of the card with this thin pearl, and I also included it on the sides of the card. On the right, I've used navy blue seam binding to create this triple loop bow, and I finished it off with this gold encrusted heart. Let me give you a closer look. Inside, you can see that sentiment. It says, "You're in my thoughts." Let me show you the back. On the back, I kept it very simple since all of the pizzazz is going on in the front. I simply added these little corner pieces on the top and the bottom. Here are the two diorama cards that I've created. As you can see, with a quick switch of paper, these cards look completely different. On the left, we have this beautiful rose, and on the right, we have these beautiful poppies, and there's so many different things that you can do with this card. Hopefully, I've inspired you with new and creative ideas, and you found the tutorial useful. If you like this video, please take a moment to give me a thumbs up. Please don't forget to leave me a comment because I love hearing from you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now, and happy crafting.